All right, so now we are recording. So let me just introduce to you all Jack Henry. Jack is a graduate of OCAD University. Jack is not only has experience working with one of the premier tourist attractions in Toronto, as well as Scarborough's local art service organization, Scarborough Arts, over the past 5 years. Jack also has worked with over 30 small and mid-sized businesses on over 125 projects. In this Lunch and Learn, Jack will go over how to promote your business online in a tourist-driven market, such as Peterborough and the Kawarthas. So take it away, Jack.
Thanks, Nigel. Thanks for the brief introduction. You basically took away everything I was going to say in the first slide, but that's
Perfect.
okay. I'll just re-say it. So today I'm going to give you some actionable items to promote your business in a tourist market, such as the Kawarthas, and some information on how to promote the millennial market as well. So we're going to go on from there, but first, just some brief introductions. There we go. So as we mentioned, my name is Jack Henry. I'm one of the owners and the head of design for OmniWorx Inc. And we're a small local design firm focusing on working with small and mid-sized businesses and organizations, as well as individuals. I graduated, as mentioned, from OCAD University's graphic design program, and also am a provisional member of the Association of Registered Graphic Designers. And I've worked on several projects for small and mid-sized businesses on everything from flags to websites to storefront signs and point of sale displays, and even a album cover, one of my favorite projects actually. Although as a company, OmniWorx is fairly new to the Kawartha regions, we have worked with several clients, including the CN Tower, Scarborough Arts, as well as Peter Mansbridge and a few other small businesses in Scarborough and Toronto, such as Muddy Paws and the Guild, the Gilded Village Community Association, Premier Skating Group, Bibcon Landscape Construction Inc., Top Roofers, and Systemized Group. Before we get started, I just wanted to let you know you'll be able to download this presentation at the end of the presentation using this QR code or going to this link below. That will include all of my speaking notes as well. So first things first, so grabbing your piece of the tourist pie. And just a question, something to think about is how much do visitors to the Peterborough and the Kawartha region spend in the local economy? They spend about $311 million each year. And just some fast facts about that, Peterborough and the Kawartha sees about 55% of all tourist traffic for the Kawarthas in Northumberland tourism region. Overnight visitors spend about an average of $152, while day visitors spend an average of $59. They stay on an average of 2.5 days, spending the most on food and beverage after the transportation. And 97% of all visitors are from other areas in Ontario. Now, the 3.1 million visitors, if you could get them to spend $5, each of them to spend $5 at your business, what would that look like? Or how much money extra revenue would you get? It would turn out to be about $15.5 million each year. But how do you get those tourists into your business? Well, when you're in a new city, what do you do when you're looking for new businesses to go to? Somewhere to shop, somewhere to stay, that sort of thing. You Google it. And usually it's something along the lines of, thing you're looking for in the city, city best thing you're looking for, places to visit city, or hotel city, or bed and breakfast city. When you search these common tourist searches for your industry, does your business come up? So that being said, here's how you can get your business to come up in local searches. As I said, don't worry about too much about writing these down. I've summarized it all in a slide at the end, as well as you can download the presentation afterwards. So the first thing you want to do is tell people where you are. Not necessarily your exact address, but the general area or town in which you serve. Are you a restaurant serving those visiting just Peterborough, or would you like to also serve those visiting the Kawartha Lakes region? The answer to this question will help give you some guidance on your site copywriting, as well as the location targeted ad campaigns that you may run, as well as when someone searches, for example, your type of business in your city. So your type of business, Peterborough, restaurants, Peterborough, that sort of thing. So there's a joke where a search engine optimization copywriter walks into a bar, grill, pub, public house, Irish bartender, drinks beer, wine, liquor. Now, the point of this in all seriousness is that you want to tell people where you are and what you do in your site. This will help with search engine optimization. When search engines review your site, they're looking for things such as keywords, the type of content, how often your site was updated, other users' reactions to the site, as well as the user's location when they search, and the device they're searching on. And that becomes important as well, with more than half of all internet traffic being on mobile devices. The only thing I like to tell my clients, if they're writing their own copy, make sure you put in copy that sounds natural, that you're not trying to stuff these keywords for your business into your site. You want your copy to sound natural, because Google and other search engines will penalize you for a copy that doesn't sound natural. The next one is you want to make sure you get your business get a Google business profile. It's important for a number of reasons, but businesses with business or Google profiles tend to perform better in searches. This is because Google will show this beside any searches for your business, and they want to keep people on on their services and make any potential ad revenue they can. So they'd rather show content that is on their services as opposed to directing people to another site. So that'll also help you rank higher in search engines. Now, you also want to think of who your in real life influencers are. Some of you may have had experience in working with online influencers, social media influencers. These are people who can influence people to buy a certain product or service. In the Kawartha region, where there's a lot of tourists, there's two very distinct groups that I think are very important when it comes to in real life influencers. And those are lock staff and marina staff, and especially for towns along the Trent Severn Waterway, such as Peterborough. These people are perceived by the visitors to be local in many cases, and they're the ones that will be asked for recommendations on potential places to stay, definitely places to eat. So if your business can promote to this target market and they have a good time at your business, they'll also think about or keep you in mind for when visitors passing through ask them for their recommendations. Now, something to keep in mind, just a kind of a proof of concept for in real life influencers. I not only worked on the CN Towers graphic design, or on some of the CN Towers graphic design, I also worked there as a customer service representative as I was going through school. And one of the things that always kind of came up to me is that people would ask me where to eat. Now, I would, again, perceived as a local, I would tell them where my favorite places were, where I really like the food, where I really like the service. So you want to keep those in real life influencers top of mind when you are marketing as well. Lastly, you want to make sure you diversify your marketing communications and sales channels. So you want to make sure you have your own website, something that you can control, something that you can update. You want to diversify your promotions, promotional channels. You not only want to use online promotion, you want to use TV, radio, print, depending on your budget. You want to be able to connect with customers in real life. So whether that means going to events or just coffee, that sort of thing. And you want to maintain a local mailing list so that you have the contact information stored somewhere locally for all of your customers. And the reason I brought this up, this is something that was very timely, I think, to this presentation, being back in the beginning of October when Facebook and all its related services went down. A lot of businesses lost the opportunity because that was their only channel where they were marketing and selling their services or products. So you want to make sure you have multiple channels where you can sell sell and market your services. So just to follow up on those action items, mention your service area often on your website. Make sure your homepage describes exactly what you offer. Get or claim your business Google profile. Figure out who your in real life influencers are and diversify your communications channels. Secondly, we're going to talk about a little bit about marketing to the next generation. So just some interesting fast facts. I should note that these fast facts are for the American population. However, I think that the Canadian market is very similar. That by 2030, millennials and Generation Z will be the two largest consumer groups in the country. Although Generation Z is more tolerant, over half of millennials would go to competitor after reading just one bad review online about a business. And Generation Z and millennials both prefer to contact companies via social media accounts. 90% of millennials have a smartphone, and millennials spend an average of 4 hours online every day, most of that time being on said smartphone. So to market to this generation, to these two generations, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. You want to be available on social media. So over 40% of small business owners spend at least 6 hours on social media each week. Being active on social media is important if you're looking to do business with millennials, as they tend to prefer reaching out to companies via social media channels. So you want to make sure you set aside time each day to review your social media channels, respond to any messages or tags your businesses may have gotten over the day, and be sure to respond to them as necessary. You should also make sure you are consistently posting on social media so that there's new content at least once a week, if not more often. This will not only help with your engagement with existing or potential customers on your account, but also help your website search engine ranking if your site is listed on your social media profile. And we talked about with millennials, over half of them will go to a competitor after reading just one bad review online. So you want to make sure you respond to reviews as needed. So with that knowledge, you want to make sure you respond to reviews on the various sites that you're part of, whether it's positive or negative. You want to thank customers for positive reviews and respond to negative reviews in a way that shows you care about making that customer's experience better, apologizing for what may have gone wrong, and inviting them to reach out to you to solve the issues that they may have had. And as mentioned, Google is probably one of the most important review form, as it will appear alongside any Google search for your business. And it's easy for customers to see reviews of past experiences. Also, businesses with better ratings on Google tend to appear higher in more generalized searches. So for example, when you're looking at Muddy Paws here, they may appear higher than other stores if they've got a higher Google review ranking. You also want to look at more inbound marketing. And inbound marketing is using content such as blog posts, events, and social media posts to share a little bit about your expertise or something related to your product. In fact, this presentation is a form of inbound marketing for OmniWorx. Inbound marketing focuses on creating brand awareness for your brand in the market rather than outbound marketing that pushes direct sales. Consistent inbound marketing keeps your brand top of mind when your potential customers are ready to buy. And an example of this is actually from 1904, which means it's not actually a new fad. The Jell-O published a cookbook with recipes that you can make with its products. And by 1906, the company saw sales increase to over $1 million annually. And with millennials preferring this type of marketing over outbound marketing, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Businesses should consider more inbound marketing techniques over outbound. This means providing your customers with useful, shareable content that they can relate to, utilize, and can be shared with their network. Think about how your brand can help customers and provide advice and information that they can use or things that they can do with your products. And then an example of that is creating articles or writing a blog post. This is an example here of what we do at OmniWorx with articles that shares information about various topics related to our industry, like using the know, like, trust principle in social media. If you want to see some of the other articles, some shameless self-promotion, you can scan the QR code or go to the link there that you see. But you can post these articles with advice related to your industry or expertise. This content should be content that is related to your business that will draw searches of potential customers who are looking for advice on a specific topic that your business can potentially help them with. We, for example, can help make sure that businesses can stay relevant within social media, or within social media. Businesses like hotels or B&Bs can post things or fun things to do this month in the Kawarthas, or grocery stores can post fun recipes that can be made with ingredients from their store. I just want to show it. I know there's someone here from Lakefield Pantry, and I just wanted to do a quick shout out. Last year, when I was starting to put together this presentation, I was looking for some examples, and they had recipes that could be made with things from their store, and they posted those. And I think that's also another very good example of inbound marketing. But you can think about how could your business provide advice and share knowledge with your target market in a way that drives sales. So just action items for marketing to the next generation. Be consistently active and available on social media to answer questions or concerns. Be sure to respond to all reviews on platforms such as Google, and utilize more inbound marketing techniques. Now that is the end of my presentation. I'd love to connect with you, have a coffee and chat about Peterborough and the Kawartha's business community, and learn more about what your companies do. Feel free to scan that QR code on the screen for my contact card, or copy my email and phone number below. I'd also love to have you join our quarterly newsletter list. The link to sign up is below, along with our social media handle. And I'd be happy to take any questions that any of you may have for me.
So yeah, if anyone has any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask them, or if you're more comfortable, you can throw them in the chat as well.
Yep, I've got one. So thanks, Jack. That was a great summary of everything. I've written a bunch of notes down as to what I can help with my own business. But what would you say the top social media platform would be right now for kind of reaching out to customers, especially within kind of the tourist industry?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think it depends. There's no one right answer for when it comes to social media and what the right one is for a business to use. It all depends on who your target market is and who you're trying to reach. For example, I would say if you're trying to reach the Gen Z, millennials, that generation, I would say TikTok is very important. But if you're looking to reach older generations, you're looking at more Facebook. And that social media platform instead. So it really depends on who your target market is that you're trying to reach, in my mind. And that's what I recommend to my clients.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, Cassie, you're just muted there.
We don't have a question, but we have a comment in the chat. Michelle said, make sure to ask your customers to give you a Google review. Make it easy for them by sending a link. It's a great tip.
Yes.
Yeah, as a follow-up kind of on that base, like I don't know if you want to share, do you have any like kind of ideas, like how can people go about improving their Google reviews? Like that's something I always came across for people, like they're trying to kind of get better ones. And is that often going to be like incentivized, like offering if like fill out the review or like that kind of stuff for chances to win, or like what do you recommend there, Jack?
I would definitely look at things like incentivizing, having the Google review filled out. But I would also look at, as I discussed, is making sure that the existing Google reviews that they are responded to, both positive and negative, and especially the negative ones, because you want to come across as wanting to make sure that their experience is better. And that's what you want people to see online, is that you want to make sure, or that you want to give your customers the best experience possible, and you want to work with them to resolve any issues that they may have had that may have caused a bad review in the first place. I can't remember what the exact statistic is, but I do know that people that have had a bad review with the business or a bad experience with the business, and then that experience has been resolved successfully and above or beyond their, or at least to their expectations, if not beyond their expectations, that they are more likely to provide positive references, positive reviews in the future of that business, and more likely to continue being a customer. Now, I had something similar happen with a client at the very beginning of OmniWorx, where we had a small issue. We resolved it, and they to this day are continue to be a client and continue to provide us with new referrals. So that's an example, even with my own business, that we've had that same results. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, perfect. We'll leave a couple more minutes here. Anyone else, if you have anything, just hop on or put it in the chat.
I did also have another question in regards to kind of reviews, because I know that a lot of retailers are now selling online. What would you say would be more important in driving their website kind of up in Google search? Would it be more so Google reviews or actual reviews on the website? Because I have seen kind of businesses do both. But I wasn't sure whether or not one is kind of dominant over the other.
Well, in terms of driving search engine optimization and driving sales, I would say that the most effective way is to get reviews on the Google or on your Google business profile. And that's because Google would always much rather prefer to have a user stay on their services as opposed to go to an external website, even if it is the business's own website. Because even if they're not, if that business isn't actively advertising with them, they still want to see if they can get as much ad revenue as they can. So they want to keep customers on their service or on their sites. So I would say having the reviews on Google would be the best thing that you can do to increase your search engine visibility.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, so I think that if you give any other questions, just feel free to interrupt me right now, but otherwise we're going to wrap it up. Sorry, go ahead, Jack.
I'm always happy to take any questions, meet and chat about any questions in person or virtually as well. You can reach me at my email or phone number there as well.
Perfect. And again, as Jack said earlier, you can download this presentation, I believe, and also, like he said, scan the code there for his contact card, or you can see there his email and phone number are listed as well. And don't forget to join his newsletter listed at the bottom. And yeah, stay tuned for more chamber events. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks again, Jack, for doing this and for just being a valued member here at the chamber. And we really appreciate that. And just being able to support members right now as marketing initiatives, online promotion can be such a hard task for a lot of people. And this is just a great way to just share that advice and knowledge, and we really appreciate it. So thank you everyone for coming out. And like we said, it is recorded and we will share that with you after, especially for those who weren't able to make it. So if anyone else on your staff or team you think would be able to benefit from it, just let us know and we can send you that link as well.